Hello, and I am here. OBS, no, don't do this. Okay. I am here in my sweatshirt, my Tinkerbell sweatshirt, like a true gamer, doing non-gamer things, like making a game. Um, but yeah, so more Lyra fun. We. Sorry, just staying hydrated. Um, so anyone who watched like the previous stream or follows me on Twitter has probably noticed I have some thoughts on this project. And of course, talking about them may or may not be killing any future chances for an epic mega grant for a future project or current project. Anyways, regardless, I do have some constructive criticisms. Like, I do, again, I will say again, I love the idea of, I love templates. Because it helps people like me, who don't really know how to code, be able to turn their ideas into reality. In this case, just like making a gay, or making a gay. I'm already gay. Um, well, not gay, I'm bi. Bi arrow. Um, what was I going on about? Yes. I like the idea of game templates. I like the idea of making it easier to get those like game ideas iterated quickly. Um, and this is just coming from someone who like has a bazillion ideas and never enough energy. But I have some criticisms. So, I'll let you guys. Well, no, I have no viewers right now. Someone was like, what's going on? And then left, which is okay. This, isn't exactly everyone's thing, game dev ranting about Unreal. So, let me just do the good old. I'll, like, figure out. One of these days, I will do the link before the stream instead of the link during the stream, and it's awkward. Uh. Tweeted. Yay. Um. Okay. Let me put some background music on again from YouTube's like here's music you can legally have that won't get you copyright striked. So where is it? I need to organize. It's still in the downloads folder, which is the first problem. Ah, Busy City by Track Tribe. I also just like having background music. So that is going, and you all have desktop audio. Great. Okay. So what you are looking at here is, so the video I'm going to make is on Niagara and really utilizing some of the things you can do with it. I like making videos that helps like with problems you might Google, as well as just helping people make their own thing instead of like everyone makes the same exact thing. But yeah, and so material functions. I've talked about this in one video, not one of the more popular ones. At least think I talked about this. Might not have. But these are like blueprints essentially you can add to your materials. So this is a sprite diffuse. But like what sprite are we talking about? The reason I ask this is because if it's a paper 2D sprite, that's different than a Niagara sprite. Um, and for those who don't know, Paper 2D is how you can make 2D games or 2.5D games in Unreal. The sad thing is, it's not like it's in Unreal Engine 5. You can like right click and you'll get paper flip book, sprite, tile map, tile set. You can still make 2D games in Unreal. But Paper 2D, unless they did this for Unreal Engine 5 and I just haven't figured it out yet, it's not integrated with things like Niagara or volumetrics. Um, like, you can add normals to Paper 2D sprites, which is can really make things look interesting. But you don't have like the robust animation tools that Godot or Unity might have. I mean, Unreal's extremely 3D focused. I've discussed this before, where uh, they're definitely moving to be both a game engine and a VFX engine. What with the technology, uh, so that studios can have the lighting and work with Unreal like while they're shooting, and the stuff like what they did for The Mandalorian, and they've just been improving it for other productions. And it means that, you know, the rendering is extremely 3D focused. All the VFX extremely 3D focused. Everything is very 3D focused, but you still have the tools that let you make games like Triangle Strategy, um, or Octopath Traveler. But like, so like with the things I'm talking about, like with Niagara, you can use Niagara to dissolve a mesh. You cannot, to my knowledge, use Niagara to dissolve a paper 2D sprite. The reason for that is because Niagara, there's no paper 2D commands for Niagara, so like you can drop in a static mesh into Niagara, but you can't drop in a flipbook or a paper 2D character. Additionally, these characters, you can't do baked lighting with them, which with Lumen is less of an issue, but when you're trying to do games that work on, you know, most computers, you run into this issue of you want to use baked lighting, but the baked lighting doesn't work with the paper 2D sprite because like lighting does work with the sprites. The issue is more like you have weird things with fogged and baked lighting and things that could be integrated if you just thought a little creatively with them. Just aren't. I mean, you could actually theoretically, and I need to learn the C++ skills to do this. Theoretically, you could add UV maps to a paper 2D character, because all it is just zeros and ones. It's all like 2D data. It's not. It's just another image. Okay, and you can add, like I said, you can add normal maps to these things. But it's just, and you can do cool things with textures and 2D images, but once they're a paper 2D sprite, they don't really work with Niagara that well. And there's some code that needs integration, okay? I've looked at the code, at least for Unreal Engine 4, which now that we're on 5, it's a whole thing. I titled this video going into Lyra, and I'm rambling about paper 2D. But part of why, you know, it's like I'm seeing sprite UV, and it's like, wait, is this one of the things I want? But the problem is, like, I see UV flip on off settings, you know, like, stats, okay. What is this for? You know, like, okay, find materials using this. Footstep decal. Okay, well, where are you? Browse to outset. You are in materials, footsteps. Okay, so here you can see sprite diffuse. Yeah, so these are the functions. So you really have to actually dig in. They do have some comments. I think this is like for the shadows. Yeah. Like the foot. Okay. No, I don't want that marker to fall. There we go. Sprite parallax, texture parallax, simulate depth. Flip view axis. Yeah, this is, damn. Oh, dynamic parameters. Those can be really interesting with, Niagara effects. So this is for the decal, but I'm assuming this is actually used. Like, if I reference viewers, my friend, looked at this. Oh, okay. Don't get what this is for. Like, does it just follow the player? Okay. I don't usually deal with footsteps. But yeah, effects. There's just a lot of things in this project. They are starting to fill out the documentation for Lyra, which I'm glad. Like, it's actually starting, like, not this one, but the common user plugin page. I think after the Q&A, they realized that the online services thing was really complicated. I don't recall it being this filled out. Yeah, a tour of Lyra. Yeah, they're starting to really up the thing, but it still doesn't have scalability, device problems. There's a really random issue I've been having, and I don't know if it's just because I'm not that familiar with like all, like, I don't know if it's because I'm still learning blueprints, but when making a widget, so for those who don't know, widgets are essentially how Unreal does HUDs. And I was like trying to make, no, not the UI. UI policy is part of W overall UI layout. They explained some of the UI stuff. They had a video on like making a UI that like functioned for multiple platforms. Yay! I had a concurrent video and I have a like. Someone likes the video. Okay. So yeah, this is the HUD. They explained some of this in a video about UI. But the thing is, no, not, okay, this is just the layout. I don't quite, it's set up in, so the way Lyra is set up is it's set up to be a fully functional game. Which is cool. You know, you want, you know, a fully functional game. But the way, okay, so this is what I was trying to do. The way it works is So you have very specific classes to Lyra. I made sure that when making this widget, it was the parent class was Lyra activatable widget. Otherwise, I had a feeling it wouldn't work because it wouldn't be under the right class. Um, Unreal uses C++. There's a lot of so C++ is very class focused. Everything is under some sort of class. So this is game UI policy. This is part of the common UI thing, I think, which is a plugin that they're using like Lyra to show off that helps like standardize your UI so that it like you have the same font. It's easy to get the same font and setup and all that. And there's a layout class. Browse to asset. So yeah, okay, and this has where you have stacks. Some people might be familiar with this, others might not be. Apparently there's a huge debate about how to set up widgets, and I think what Lyra does is the correct way you use widgets. So what you have here is you have your game layer stack, your game menu stack, your menu stack, your modal stack, and they explain this in the Q&A. Sort of. So the way that these work is it startup? I want event graph. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. There is a certain HUD. Menu. Nope, that's the tile button. What I want is experiences. Experience selection screen. Okay. So I removed the other experiences. And I think I accidentally deleted how they, the character select. Okay, purposefully, but then I realized I need to look at it. And whoops. So, this is, I removed some things, but this is like how you get from the like experience to the level. And you have this thing, push content to layer for player. So the way this is so where did it go? There we go. So you have these stacks, okay? Game layer stack, game menu stack, modal stack. So, and they explain this in the UI thing too. You have, so all the widgets, think of like all the like HUD things kind of layered one on top of each other. And then this blueprint, push content to layer for player, what it does is it puts the widget at the very top of the little stack. And that way everything is already loaded. So you're not doing construct. Yeah, the other way. Construct widget. No. No, not context sensitive. There's my problem. Yeah, there we go. So typically there's like construct widget. Excuse me. Isn't it construct? Oh boy. Activatable widget stack. Interesting. Or is it add widget? Yeah, add widget. There we go. No! I don't understand. Ah. Anyways, usually you would construct the widget and then destroy the widget, and you would construct and destroy and construct and destroy. And that's what a lot of tutorials show, and then people are like, no, that's not the way you do it. And this method, I think, is closer to the proper way, where you have everything loaded and you're just moving things into view, which is faster loading than if you had to continually add and destroy, add and destroy, add and destroy. It's a matter of resources. Eventually you can destroy. You have a garbage collector that deals with stuff too, I'm sure. Yeah. But this, as far as I can tell, it works, I think, is how you add. Don't take my word for this. I think this is how you add a new widget. Like, by putting, like, when you say the push content widget class, and then you make sure you put in layer name, you mention what stack it's in. And you want to be careful because with Lyra, so game, this is like stuff that would show up in game, like health bars and shit. Game menu, so your inventory, in this case character select, menu, regular menus, modal, so that's like modal are things like that you constantly would want to be loaded, like, hey, your controller's disconnected, or hey, this guy shot you. That's the modal ones, in case that wasn't clear. I think this is how I got my character select. But then I ran into another problem. And I swear, why are you saying, yeah, there we go. I was like, why are you giving me green? It's not green. Get desired focus target wasn't implemented. You're going to have trouble using gamepads on the screen. Now, what this is talking about is some blueprint called get desired focus target that I think it's a function. Well, it's put in the function. So if we went back to, that's the button. If we went back to this one, you can see activatable widget, BP get desired focus target. And then you can see there's this thing. It's not editable. Like functions are weird. They're incredibly useful. But yeah, you have this thing. It's not clear. Nowhere does it explain. Doesn't explain here. It doesn't explain here. Doesn't explain in the videos how you get that function into a new like widget. It's like, do I have, I don't think I have the wrong class because this is also Lyra activatable widget. And then that's the thing, and what the point of it, and the reason why it's not red and it's just a warning is I think it's like if it doesn't detect mouse and keyboard, it'll go to the gamepad. I don't, there's nothing explained. There is, okay, epic. I think this project is great, but there's too much. You either need to document everything and share the documentation. Like, I need to see the GDD. I need to see, like, what the programmers were doing. There's too much. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, for templates on the marketplace, you're supposed to have documentation. I'm, like, you have so much stuff here. It doesn't, it's a cool way of finding out what Unreal Engine 5 can and cannot do. And the plugins are a great idea. A modular system for making games. But there's a lot going on, and not everything is commented. Like, there's no comments for this. I oh yeah, here's where they sort of explain. Here's where they explain the layer widgets. Which it's nice they had that comment. It doesn't explain how you get new, or maybe it does explain how you get new ones, and I'm blanking. Um, yeah. So this is the registry for the thing. I feel like I'm going crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm used to like unbutton click, and yeah, I was like, okay, unbutton click. How do I pick a character? And I tried to watch a video, and it was like a totally different method, and it's like, what? I don't know. I don't. If it's, I mean, I'm not an expert. I would never say I'm an expert. Like, I know I have this tutorial channel, and I know I teach Unreal, and, you know, I am happy to help people learn Unreal. So much of this is confusing. So much of this is brand new stuff. And, like, you actually need a several hour tutorial session. You need, like, a video explaining how the UI works, including that freaking get desired focus target. I mean, and it could be something that's obvious to someone who regularly uses blueprints, but if Lyra is supposed to help people who are, like, if this is supposed to onboard people who are new to Unreal, there's, it's not as modular as they advertise. That's what I would argue. Because there's a lot of things going on. It works to demonstrate what Unreal Engine 5 can do compared to Unreal Engine 4. But I think it's just, you have this, you have the way the menus are set up is completely different. It's a very cool method that reduces the file size. And they sort of explain it in their UI video. But it's not. Okay. I know this is a lot of rambling, and I swear I will get to prepping for a tutorial. My thing with teaching people is you need to meet them on their level. That's the first thing. You need to understand that things that may seem obvious to you are not obvious to other people. Then you need to do what I like to call the show the example. So this Lyra game is an example. This entire project is an example. But then you need to, so you show the example. You show visually, like you make it clear visually what you are doing, as well as regularly explain small steps that may be obvious to you. Like, it's obvious to me that if I right-clicked here and went to reference viewer, I can see everything that, like, is being referenced. That is not obvious to most people. That wasn't obvious to me a year ago. And so you need to regularly explain, like, this is, by the way, I'm right-clicking on this object, clicking on this thing called reference viewer, which then shows me the items that are referenced within the object, as well as what objects reference the initial object. So you need to show the example. Then, while explaining some of this simple steps, you show how to do it while also explaining. You talk through it and show it. So you have the visual and the auditory. And in cases like this, this is a YouTube, this is a video series. So I can't, I mean, I could take the time absolutely to do images and text, which would be preferable to some people. At the moment, I just don't do that because either time or executive function issues. But it bears noting that when you have a project like this that you are trying to use to onboard people into not only Unreal Engine 5, but also certain game dev pipelines, because it's clear they're trying to show off a certain pipeline, you also need to have the text and images, static text and images, showing and explaining the thought processes that went behind, you know, like, we realized that we could make the game smaller by doing a few material things instead of a whole texture. And you, like, both show and explain, and then afterwards you show what the product, what the finished thing should look like. I know I don't follow this for everything, but I try to make sure, here is example, here is how you do it. I am showing you visually and explaining. And I try to get to the point. I try, like, the live streams are my excuse to ramble to you all. But, like, they need videos explaining the UI. Like, the entire UI system and folder needs an explanation. They need to explain, okay, that's, I brought in blood and metahumans. That's just me things. I also brought this in. I sculpted it, because I'm cool like that. They need to explain material functions, because not everyone knows what material functions are. They need to explain, like, that's the problem when you add so much stuff, is now you have things that are things you can do with the engine, but are separate to the core engine itself. Because you technically can make a game without any of these things. But they involve those things. So now, someone who might be looking for what is this would get lost, because this isn't, there are people with tutorials for similar things. Like, this is just depth fade, which I thought was included in materials. Depth check. Like, you have stuff like that. I'm sure I could find something about sprite UVs if I looked. But tracer smokes opacity? What is going on here? Effect types. Niagara effect type. I have never heard of that before. What is a Niagara effect type? You need to explain this. You need to actually go in and, like, oh god. Okay. This is a specific class. Too. They've got so many new blueprint classes. I cannot imagine being, like, a programmer or someone who focuses on blueprints, cracking open Unreal Engine 5 or even just cracking open Lyra and being like, what? Because it's a lot of things. And, you know, it's a whole new engine. You expect a lot of things. And maybe some of this is documented. But the not Lyra specific things, I'm just, scalability. they really, I think they should have had the resources. Yeah, Lyra is a learning resource designed as a sample game project to help you understand the frame. I'm reading off of the documentation. To help you understand the frameworks of Unreal Engine 5, its architecture is designed to be modular, including a core system and plugins that are updated regularly along with the development of Unreal Engine 5. So this is basically, oh, you don't feel like playing Fortnite. Here's here's how here's how like, this is essentially so it's designed to be a learning resource. Cross-platform compatibility and scalability, online multiplayer, which a lot of people I saw in the chats for the walkthrough Q&A session were very confused by. Features a choice between 3 different game modes, a customized gameplay ability system, Niagara FX, Unreal Motion graphics widget classes, and UI icons for the game's project's gameplay concepts, including menu settings, controller key sticks, and displays for health, mana, and ammo. These UI features are designed with modularity, so you can use their systems in your own game, independent of Lyra. Optimized, handmade-crafted content, including locomotion, animation assets, sounds, and a weapon system that is compatible with any pawn. New Unreal Engine 5 mannequins, Manny and Quinn. These mannequins are playable characters that share the same core skeleton hierarchy as metahumans with a compatible animation system. They do not make it clear. You have to actually like go to the Unreal Engine YouTube channel to find that. Or several people made videos already about how you get your metahumans onto the skeletons. Yes, YouTube, I know. I am making a video and I am live. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, they've got, yeah. Like, I'm hoping next week they'll have more videos. They'll have more tech talks. Because an hour for an overview isn't nearly enough for Lyra. And if they want this to be a learning resource, they need to actually just giving people a sample project and going here. Some people work that way. I do actually like having sample projects to work with and to learn from. Because there's a bit of, how did they do this? But not everyone learns that way. And there just needs to be more on all the things they added, what the pipeline is, what the expected, like, continued pipeline would be. Niagara module. Did they add Niagara module? Oh, no. So there's nothing wrong with making your own Niagara module. It's actually extremely useful. And it's, like, cool that they included Niagara modules that they made that weren't just the default. So, and what this is, so this is the scratch pad. It's a special type of like, it's blueprints, but they're special blueprints for Niagara. So I think this is, like, improving the light. Yeah, map set, map get. Yeah, I think this is improving the light, but you don't really know. Like, it's hard to say. Because, I mean, the name, like, Project Plane, what? Uh-oh. Did I close something I shouldn't have? Ah, for fuck's sake. Okay. But yeah. Uh, Epic, you make great things, but this isn't a learning resource unless you have. Unless you actually have things that explain. And not the quick thing. Not the quick thing. Like, thank you, graphics quality. I'm glad you're explaining this because it took me forever to figure out what the hell most graphics settings were. Um, it's actually a thing I do for the Interactive Museum is actually just explain the graphics settings because my target audience for that aren't gamers. It's people who have no clue what WASD controls are. So it's like, okay, this is like the setting you want if you're running this off of a Dell, okay? This is what you want if you have a super gaming computer, and at that point, I probably don't actually have to explain to you. Not actually what I do, but yeah. I actually, like, this is what this does. Like, turning off shadows will help it run faster. This was really just an excuse to rant to you guys. Oh yeah, color curve. Like, this is something that seems really cool. And it reminds me of Houdini does something like this. You can save specific color profiles for like different fire types or whatever you're doing. So I think that's what that is. But you know, like, how do you make your own? Like, do you just physics, sounds, curve? Okay, I think this is something Unreal's had, but like, no one knows what it is. Yeah, this is. I guess the summary of this ranting is just please, if you're going to release learning resource, also release videos and very explicit documentation on the same day. Ah! Okay. I was, I said I was gonna set up for a video, so I am. Alright, add. Yeah, I'm gonna do it separate from their effects because that's just this is just like cool. This is gonna confuse people. Hey, they have a ring. This is something I've done, which is like I actually have a like circular plane that's just. This is kind of like something I've done, which is just take the end of a cylinder and like turn that into a plane, and there we go. It's really useful for FX, so I'll be using that. That's something like what I do. Particles. Yeah, this is stuff they have. Anyways, FX. So, what I'm doing is we're going to do a thing. Where I'm going to show how useful it is, like, how to take advantage of the Niagara system. But first, I need to make some Niagara effects. So let's... Alright. So they have done some changes to Niagara, too, which is really important to take note. No, it's not scale color I want. Delete. I can do, with this, I can do color from curve. So scale color, you can't do color from curve, but if you do color, you can do color from curve. And it's like that color curve you saw me looking at moments ago. And you can do it from a curve graph, but honestly, I like doing it from a gradient graph. I'm gonna... Yeah. Let's get some floating particulates going on. Oh, right, that's the opacity. That's where it gets really opaque. Hello, I like a key. Thank you. Do this. And I think I have to actually do what I have to do is... So the way this works is up here you have the colors. Down here, this is the opacity. So this is the... Just... This controls how opaque. So the white is opaque, the black is is like not white, you can see it, black you can't. Alright, that's words are hard. Okay, and normalize stage. So the longer particles hang around, they'll change. They're just kind of here. Yeah, so instead of the like torus whatever, you can change it to they changed it to so it's like shape location and then you choose the shape. Oh, I made it big. Okay. Let's bring it down a little. Let's also... Actually, since the game's very red, let's like look at it with a dark red background. This one's fun to mess with. Vortex velocity. What the hell is the drag on this? Oh wait, is it because of curl noise force? Is that what's fucking with things? This is not horrifying at all. It's pretty. I could do some like... Where's it here? That... There's somewhere that you like put vortex velocity and it does some cool things. Or did they fix that for Unreal Engine 5? Is this a mass? No, unset. Massive one. Whoa, what? Oh, okay. Cool. I'm a game dev, y'all. I'm a tech artist. I know what I'm doing. Uh... Oh, they changed something. Oh, they got rid of add velocity and cone. Oh, you do it from... Okay, velocity mode. So you can do linear in code. There we go. Now we're having some fun here. Oh, these are new. I think. I don't recall them when working on effects last week. Alright, let's... Fly, fly away. But, yeah, for those of you who don't know, where you put the velocity does affect how it moves. Usually. You can see that there was a subtle change when I moved it. But let's just have some fun with blood. 8K texture into Niagara. That was stupid. I didn't realize that was 8K. Oh. Mega scans. Why do you do this? Why does anyone need 8K blood text decals? Like, what? I guess if you're working on a movie, maybe, but like... You broke Niagara by throwing in an 8K text. Do not put 8K textures into Niagara, by the way. That would be stupid. Whee! Why is the environment flickering? I think I am more tired than I thought, but now you know what my next Niagara video is going to be, and you've heard my rant. So, anyone who watched, hope you enjoyed. Apologies, this wasn't as exciting as I was planning. But thank you for watching. Check out my Ko-fi and check out the affiliate links down below. Have a good one, y'all.